Hello and welcome. Today we're going to make a login script for our content management system, or CMS, powered by PHP, MySQL databases, and for this video we will be using XAMPP. Now XAMPP allows you to run a web server off of your PC and access the files by going to HTTP localhost and going from there. So we've made a folder called Green Fever YouTube, which is my old content management system's name, and so we're going to be sort of making a new version of it as part of the tutorial, and you're going to learn a bunch of PHP and MySQL along the way, because I think the best way to learn all this stuff is by practicing and making sort of little projects. So we're going to start by creating some new folders. So new folder. I'm going to call this folder admin, and then inside the admin folder we are going to create another folder and call that style. Then if we go to the home page here and we go to make another new folder, this one we're going to call it include, and inside that folder we can create a new text document, and we can call this text document database .php. Click yes to rename it, and you'll make a new PHP file. Now, when we edit these PHP files and do our coding, I recommend you use Notepad++ for that. Okay, so we have our database.php file here, and it's running fairly smoothly. So now we're going to go back, go into admin, style, create a new text document, and rename this to style.css. Click yes, and then open it up in Notepad++. Okay, so style.css, Notepad++, and in here we are going to be writing our CSS, which is our styling for our admin panel and our login page specifically. So we'll do the login page first. So we're just going to write HTML to start off with, and also make sure if we go to language here, make sure CSS is selected. So if we click HTML, curly braces, height, semicolon 100%, close the curly braces, and then we do a star. If we bring that all to one line, that might be a little better. Then if we have star, curly braces, margin is equal to 0, padding is also 0, and then close the curly braces. Then if we do our body, and we open the curly braces, close the curly braces, in here we can do font normal .80 EM, and we'll do this type of font. Because that's generally pretty good. And sans serif as well. Next line, background color. If you look at my existing sort of Green Fever setup here, if I just bring it over, it's sort of a light grey background. So to set that, we go the pound sign. That's the wrong sort of pound sign. Let me copy it in. And then the color that we'll be using, so it's pound F0EFE2. And then color as well will be pound. I'll just copy that from here. And that'll be 777. And we can close those curly braces. If we do a next line, we do P, paragraph, open up a set of curly braces. Padding can be 0, 0, 20 pixels, and then 0 as well. A new line, line height can be, there probably should be a dash there in between that, 1.7 EM. EM is just sort of a computer measurement. And then we can go down, set our image properties, although we won't have much there for the moment, so we can do this all on one line. Set of curly braces, and for the moment we can just set the border to equal 0 pixels. If we go H1, H2, H3, H4, H5 and H6, these are our headings. And if we go back to our login page here, this administrator login is a heading. Not sure what it is exactly. If we go and view the, inspect the element, that'll work. You can see it's a H1. So this here's a heading, H1, so we're going to style this. Now our H1, H2, H3, H4, H5 and H6, they're different sized headings, but the fonts and color will be the same. It's purely just the size that will change. So our first line can be font. It's normal at 175%. It's Century Gothic. It's Arial, sans serif, which I forgot to do up the top. No worries. So normally when you're writing CSS, there isn't a space between two words. It's normally sort of hyphenated, as you can see with sans serif and line height. It's usually hyphenated. So under font then we can select our color. We'll need the pound symbol again from up here. And the color that we'll be using for the font is 43423F. And that's sort of a grey color. The margin can be 0, 0, 15 pixels, then 0. And then the padding can be, it doesn't like margin for some reason, because I didn't end the line there. And padding can be 15 pixels, 0, 5 pixels, and 0. Okay, so we've set out this nicely. Let's move on to our heading specific CSS. Actually, no, we can leave that for a minute. Oh, actually, hang on. No, we may as well do our heading specific CSS, at least for heading 1 and 2 anyway, because these are the headings that we're most likely going to be using on our login page specifically. We can fix up the other headings later on as we need them. So we'll just do heading 2 for now, and it's only relatively small, so we should be able to, I'll space it out actually, like we should. So heading 2, the font will be normal at 175%. It'll be Century Gothic, as we determined earlier. It'll be Arial and sans serif as well. Then we'll have our color that we will apply to it. Yep, that line looks good, which will be the pound symbol 1293 EE. So that'll be our heading 2. Specific CSS there, and that can stay I'll just move these up a touch to try and condense our code. You never want to condense your code too much. Oh, hang on. You never want to condense your code too much. But that should be right for what we're doing. Okay, so let's look at the menu now, because the menu will be quite important. So if we look at the menu bar, and the menu bar will be this aspect up here. This will be our menu bar, and we're going to make it a little bit nicer than normal. So we're going to need the pound sign again, and we're going to call this menu bar, and then set up some curly braces. Our width will be 877 pixels. Our height will be 72 pixels. Our padding will be 0 pixels. Our background will be a pound sign, 51, 5D25, URL, menu.png, repeat X, and that'll be it for our menu bar. So this is just setting up some padding, and if we add actually padding top, and if we set that to 10 pixels. Now this isn't very responsive, and it's not very good if your viewers are viewing your website or CMS on different size screens. So we're going to fix this up a little later on. In fact, I can write a comment here. I can write a comment to refer back to it later. So, our next item will be some more menu work. So if we go UL pound sign menu, UL pound sign menu LI, LI, and if we set up our curly braces, we are good to go. So that looks good. So if we float it to the left, then we have a margin of 0, and padding, what do you know, that'll be 0 as well. Next item will be UL pound sign menu LI, and this will be fairly this will be fairly straightforward as well. This will be a one-liner, and that'll be list hyphen style is none, UL pound sign menu LIA. So this is just sort of sub styles, all to do with the menu. Now this one will be quite large, so letter spacing is 0.1 EM. Font will be normal, 100%. Sans Unicode sounds good. There'll also be some Arial and sans serif. Display will be block. Float will be left. And let me just edit that. be left, height will be 37 pixels, do some more padding, this will be 29 pixels, 26 pixels, 6 pixels, and 26 pixels, in that order. That's very important. Text align will be center. Color will be the pound sign, FFF, I believe that's a white. Text transform will be uppercase. This is making everything uppercase essentially. Got to underline there, so that's making any text uppercase. Text decoration is none, and background is going to be transparent. Okay, that's our menu there. And one more, so when we hover over the menu, I'll just bring it up. When we hover over it, will do a little animation there, so we're going to set that up by making another sort of subclass. UL # menu li a hover UL pound menu li li, so that should be a space, selected a, and UL pound menu li dot selected. A hover, sorry, and then we'll set up our curly braces right there, and have our color set to $FF, right, fairly straightforward. Our background there will change. Our background color will become $37 3F1D. Our URL menu select. So this will change the PNG. This will change the image, and we're going to repeat that along the x-axis. And that can end our curly braces. Okay, so this is the CSS code that we need to develop our login system. Next time we'll set up the HTML code for our login page and maybe get a start on the database connection that'll make everything work. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, favorite, rate, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching.